Panther Nation podcast. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, cut it. Cut right. And I would like to introduce one of the hottest podcasts in Carolina history. Let's go. Yeah. Talk, let's chat. We got time to chop it up. Talking analytics and fantasy draft. You know what's up. Panther Nation representing, cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible, make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football, we discussing it all. On and off the field, you know exactly who to call. You know we the #1 podcast. Competition is non-existent, you need to stop that. Pause. It's an honor to be a Panther fan, pause. At Bank of America, that is where we ball. Coming to the jungle, then you gonna feel the pause. Winning the trophy for the city, it is the call. Black, white, and blue, we going Carolina strong. And this is the conversation where everyone belongs. Discussing all the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast, and we poppin', let's go.
QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.
Yo, what's cracking, Panther Nation? It's your boy Rashad, one half of P&P. Dave is on the way. He'll be here a little bit later as he has some stuff to do with his daughter. So salute to Dave for holding it down last week as well, as I was out, had some things I had to do. So appreciate Dave for that. But we got a special guest to hold it down and talk about his experience in Mobile. The real ball watcher. You know, y'all know me for y'all know I'm not the X's and O's guy. So I had to call in a favor because I know my lane and I stay in it. Okay. So I had to call the real ball watcher who was down in Mobile, holding it down for Panther Nation, right? And we're gonna talk about some of the Senior Bowl stuff a little bit later. I already see in the chat, my man said we got to talk about Myles Garrett before we get into any of that. And we are. We are gonna talk about it. But my man, how do you feel about Mobile? How was the whole experience? Because I know you just got back recently. How was the whole experience down in Mobile?
Man, it was a crazy experience. I can't lie. I'm just kind of getting into this stuff, so I wasn't necessarily ready to be around. A lot of people I watch, Trevor Sikkema meeting the franchise guy, if anybody know who that is, Bro Schmo. Yep. I mean, like the first hour I was there, the first person I kind of ran into was Mike Tomlin. So I'm like, all right, man, I don't know what's going on. I'm shaking hands with Mike, introducing myself. It was crazy. And then after a while, I kind of got settled in because at the end of the day, I was there to do a job. So I'm in there scouting. Like I'm like coming to see high school football games as a college coach or something, get my notes out, stuff like that. But it was nice, man. If anybody's into that type of stuff, I for sure advise them to go ahead, take a chance and go. It's very fun.
That's dope. Yeah, it's dope. That's good stuff, man. Big step, especially for us independent media content creators. It's dope for us to get down there and get credentials. It's starting to be this content space is starting to be more respected. And for us to get our hands on these kind of credentials is dope. I know I got credentials a couple of years ago. I didn't get a chance to go down there, but I did get credentials. I was super excited, but I ended up having to do something else the weekend of the Senior Bowl. But even for like the combine and stuff like that, and they're gonna start opening that stuff up. So keep grinding. It's super dope. Super dope that you went out there. And we're going to get into some of your top guys and with some sleepers. We're going to talk about some sleepers as well. But before we get into that, man, we got to talk about a couple things. So it's a lot. It's a lot happening.
Got some business, man.
We got some business going on around here. It's a lot going on. It is a lot happening. This for me, y'all know how I get down. This is some of the best time of the football season for me. You got the X's and O's guys, but I'm more like a team builder guy. Like I like the draft and being able to look at these free agents and these contract structures and all this other stuff, and to see a guy like Myles Garrett, be out there and available is definitely something kind of crazy. These type of things don't happen very often, and so when it does, it's like, all right, you got to really take a look at it. So we're gonna talk about it. Hold that thought for 1 second. Let me just adjust my screens here for us real quick. All right, let's rock. All right, real quick, couple things. I got a couple housekeeping notes I need to take care of before we get into that content. As you all know, we sat down with Jalen Coker a couple of weeks ago. And this is not something he asked us to do. If you've been watching PNP for a long time, this is something we do as a good gesture to thank those players for coming and rocking with us. They donate their time. So because they're donating their time, I'm going to donate 100% of my super chats. 100% of every single super chat is going to the Love Like Adam Foundation or the Guys and Dolls auction gala, which is support cystic fibrosis. So this is not something he asked me to do. Let's be clear. It's not something he asked me to do. It's something that I do and have done on several occasions for players that have come and rock with us. So 100% of super chats. I ain't seen a super chat yet. Oh, there's one. There's my man Steve. Steve dropped in and dropped the super chat. He said, glad this guy's on our show. He really knows his stuff. Always enjoy his takes on prospects. So there you go. You get a shout out already. And
Steve,
a super
man.
chat.
Steve, a good
Shout
dude.
to Steve. He is a good dude. He's been rocking with PNP for a very, very long time. Shout out to Steve. And we got our first super chat that will go to the causes that Jalen Coker supports. So we got the whole month of February. So no need. And you could drop a bag on the last day, but 100% of the proceeds are going to those causes. And also, I said it earlier, the top contributor will get a signed 8x10 from Jalen Coker. So I have a bunch of them right next to me, and I will be giving those away. So shout out to Jalen Coker for rocking with us, man. Really, really good dude. It's hard not to like Jalen Coker, but we've been on our show twice. We got him right after he signed as an undrafted free agent, and then we talked to him after year one. And hopefully we can continue these year wrap-ups. Every year we can talk to him. Just a real down-to-earth guy, man. So definitely got to support him and his causes just because he's a real good dude. Next cause. Now, if you don't like super chats and you want something in return for you, now, I know, y'all. Y'all gonna be like, damn, he just had a daggone popcorn fundraiser last week. I know, but what happened was a lot of people wasn't feeling the City Pop joint because it had candy, cookies, and all this other stuff, and the folks wasn't really feeling it. Our sales that were really low, we didn't really rock how we typically rock, and people love this daggone double good popcorn for some reason. I know my favorite one is in Queso Fire, so we decided to run it back. And we actually are gonna do double good. Now, right now, I'm not pressing because y'all did y'all thing. Y'all helped your boy out. I finished first place in the last one. But if you do want to support, your boy's in 9th place right now. I ain't never seen 9th place in my life. Okay, I'm in 9th place. So if y'all want to get me up a little bit, I appreciate pause. If you want to get me up in the standings a little bit, I would appreciate that if y'all scan that code and help your boy out because I'm in 9th place. And I don't like it. At least got to get me in the top 5. So propel me up into the top 5. That will help out tremendously. You got 2 options. Both options. None of this stuff is coming to me. Like I don't need the money. I'm blessed. I appreciate y'all. So again, going to good causes for my fraternity and going to good causes for Jalen Coker and all the causes he supports. So I appreciate that. Super chats, popcorn, hook your boy up either way. I greatly appreciate it. All right. And I'll drop the link up a little bit later if y'all want it. All right. And it's Dave is not Dave's year yet. Yeah. No, so Dave's never going to beat me in this. He's never going to beat me. He's never going to beat me in any popcorn fundraisers. It never happens. So support your boy. He may post his link. He has the opportunity to post his link. But there he is. There he is.
I say, where Dave at on the list?
Dave not even on the. He ain't even signed up yet. Dave ain't even signed up yet. But either way, you can support Dave. You can support me. Either way, man. Either way. Appreciate these super chats coming in. A-Cash dropped one. Shout out to Coker and his foundation, the foundation that he's supporting. Shout out to Shamba Moore. Appreciate that. But yeah, man, appreciate all the love. So either way, all going to good causes. Support your boy, and I greatly appreciate y'all. Always support. So I greatly appreciate y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, man. Myles Garrett is available. He requested a trade. He says he's done with the bum Browns. I'm out. I want to get up out of here. So, bro, let me ask you this. When you first heard the news, what was your thoughts as you process this Myles Garrett situation?
As a Panthers fan, my first thought is always us. All right, how could we get better? And immediately I'm thinking, it might take two ones or something out of our price range. But then I want to say it was Rossini and a couple other reporters was like, nah, it's not going to take as much as you think. It might take one first and a couple day twos, and it piqued my interest a little bit. I can't lie. I was like, if we got to give up 8, maybe a third and then a second next year, you're not getting nobody in this draft better than Myles Garrett, in my opinion.
Facts.
So I would have been down with it, but we'll have to see, man. I don't know. The Browns are saying they don't even plan on trading them, so they might try to drive the price up. It's an interesting situation, to say the least.
Yeah, it's very interesting, bro. And I liken it to when, and I know this is a completely different situation because, Peppers was a free agent back in the day. This is a kind of completely different. But when a guy like Julius Peppers comes along, you gotta figure it out. And so people were asking me, they were tagging me, "Hey, Shy, you seen this? What would you do it?" Hell yeah, send it in. Yo, whatever you gotta do, send it in. I don't care if it's 2 first-round picks.
Ooh.
Send it. Send it in. Because
so you
all y'all, bro,
8 in next year?
Send it, bro. Send it. Listen, send it in because all y'all have done is sit up here and complain that our defense is trash. Our defense is this, our defense is that. We ain't got no pass rush. Bro, send it in. Because guess what? When you look at the landscape of the team, you got Clowney, who is older, right?
Okay.
He's on a 2 or 3 year deal. It's gonna be up out of here a little bit. Wanham, he only on a 2-3 year deal. You gonna need somebody. So you trade for Garrett. He's got a couple years on his contract, I believe, and then you gotta pay him, right? So at the end of the day, you gotta figure it out. And for me, send it in, bro. Send it in. And now here's the thing. I hear y'all. He may not want to come here. I get that. But listen, the tide is turning a little bit. That I don't want to come here no more. It's gonna be changing. Canals is here. Bryce has got the thing. The ship turning. We're turning the ship around. So
and true, to look at it. To be fair, it's a trade. This ain't the NBA. Where they can. They don't. You don't throw your weight around like that in the NFL. You kind of got to go where you get taken. I'm sure Khalil Mack ain't want to go to Chicago when he asked out of Oakland back in the day. So that's a part of it too. And he's not. He's not a free agent no time soon. So even if we trade for him, he don't want to be here. He's still gonna play hard at the end of the day.
Bro, send it in. Bro, I'm gonna hit these some of these super chats real quick. Y'all are wilding. Y'all gonna bro. This is what kills me with Panther Nation because y'all will be the first ones to complain that we don't have no pass rush. But then when one of the best generational talent becomes available, you don't want to do what you got to do to get to improve said pass rush. Like what are we talking about? How can you talk yourself out of this one, bro? Like I don't understand that. I just don't get it. So
Myles Garrett probably makes us a playoff team this year. No cap.
Right. Exactly.
If we're being honest.
Exactly. And you're not going to get a player in this draft, like you said, that's better than him.
Yeah, facts.
So send it in, bro. Send it in. You could fix. We got a little bit of cash, right?
Yeah.
Send it in. Fill the gaps where you can. You draft. Try to hit a little bit later, second, third round with the remaining picks that you had.
Mm-hmm.
But make it happen, bro. You're not going to get anybody better than Myles Garrett in the draft. Send that thing in. Pause. All right. So my man Antoine says, "What's good? Much love to show day one. Yeah, Antoine been around for a very, very long time. Day one. I'm talking about back when we was in the daggone hotel room, and Dave was in the basement back in those days. So we was when I had the glasses on. We was way back in the day. Shout out to Ladarian. It says Best Panthers podcast. I'm here, man. I appreciate that. Landon says, how would it affect our cap? I gotta look into that. I gotta be honest with you. But I can look it up real quick and kind of let you know. Real Ball Watcher. He says, do you go by listed height or height in shoes when it comes to prospects? Always use official listed height personally. What you think about that?
That's a dig at you, Rashad. I don't know if
it is a dig at me. It is a dig at me.
They digging at you, man.
It's definitely a dig at me.
It depends. I mean, because let's be honest, they on the field with cleats. So
exactly.
Yeah. It
bro, they don't play football barefoot, bro.
True. Because I'm the same height as Mike Green, listed at least. When we got on the field and I interviewed him, he was taller than me. So it depends. It just depends.
Yeah, you can't go by the listed is great. My question to you is, before you even go there, you have to ask yourself, do you know how they're measured?
Yeah,
Are they measured
facts.
barefoot? Are they measured with shoes on? How many inches is the sole? Like, right? So before you even go to that, you got to answer that question first.
True.
So that's that. And I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that question. So
I
I
think
can
it's
tell you
barefoot for sure.
exactly. So I can tell you right now. I know people will talk going back to the Jalen Coker situation because I stood right next to him. People trying to tell me that dude is not six. Bro, I stood right next to him. I can tell you that he is taller than 6'1". He had
Dog.
on shoes, yes, but I'm telling you, he is taller than 6'1" for sure. As you can ask my man Preston, who was there. He was standing right there too. He's taller than 6'1". I can tell you that for sure.
Measurement gate is funny because it's been going on for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's funny, but hey,
Crazy.
you can believe what you want to believe. I was standing right next to the dude, so hey, and I know how tall I am, and I know
Facts.
he had at least 3-4 inches on me. Pause. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So like,
facts.
he's not 6'1", bro. He's taller than 6'1" with shoes on for a fact.
Shout out to
All right,
Coker, man.
shout out to Coke, man. Stuart Moore says cap hits are worth it in this scenario. Take the hit. Let me look it up real quick. Let me look it
It's
up.
interesting because don't they got to eat some of the contract if they trade them?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
If they trade him, they got to eat the bonuses. So let me go. Let me look it up real
it's
quick.
interesting. And we
Spot.
got move. We got room to move around. So it's not like it'll kill us this year if we trade for him. At least off the top of my head.
Yeah. So the only fear is that you got to worry about paying him after he's
After
he's
he's a
done
free
with
agent.
his contract. So he becomes a unrestricted free agent in 2027. So you got him 2 years
Yeah,
basically to on a very low cap hits, bro.
yeah,
Very low cap hits because the option proration is, bro, he's gonna be like, his base salary is gonna be basically nothing. Like,
yeah.
I'm talking about vet minimum. So they're gonna have to eat that, which is probably why they don't want to trade him. Because they're gonna
Hmm.
eat a lot of the contract. I'm sure they're gonna have to work out how it's gonna work out, who's gonna eat what. We may have to take on some of the salary, which is all possible. All these things are workable, right? All these things are workable. But yeah, the way this is structured, bro, I was certainly, because his base salary in 2025 is 1.2 million. That's what we would be responsible for. In 2026, 1.3 million, right? So those
Yeah,
are extremely low cap hits.
yeah.
The only question mark is right, you're gonna have to pay Myles Garrett. You also gonna have to potentially pay Bryce
Bryce.
Young at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's where you got to figure that out. But it's
I got a
possible.
question though.
Yep.
So the cap hits are low. I'm assuming it's a lot of void years on his contract,
Yep.
or
They are.
who
Yes, you're
eats
right.
that?
They have to eat that because it's a
Okay, so
part
you
of
good.
it's a part of the signing bonus, right? So that
Mm,
bonus is prorated. Anytime you trade anybody, they have to eat the bonuses, and we are only responsible for base salary.
oh
So
yeah, we good.
it's certainly a good deal for us to make that happen. But I just don't know that. I don't know that they're gonna do it, and I'm sure they will probably try to make us eat some of the contract because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of bonus money that they got to eat. You know what I mean?
Never know,
If they do
man.
trade them, you
It
never
could
know.
happen. It could. I don't think we that far off from competing for. I think us Panthers fans, we kind of got PTSD, and we won't allow ourselves to realize that hey, we not that bad. We not that far off from keep. Like I keep
We,
seeing in the chat, we not ready for a Garrett trade.
bro,
It's too
that
early. I don't. Bryce got 2 years on a rookie deal. We got to win now, or 3 years. So we got to win now.
yeah, that Super Bowl window is important. Winning, that's why I hate that we wasted this rookie year, because you have
Facts.
to win while your quarterback is on a rookie deal. Once your quarterback reaches that first contract, it makes it very difficult to build elsewhere. You got to funnel a lot of money into your quarterback. It's not impossible. Obviously, you see what the Chiefs are doing,
Yeah.
but your quarterback is going to have to work with you on the way his contract is structured, and obviously going to have to take some team-friendly contracts, i.e., what Mahomes continually does. You know what I mean? So, but it is what it is. It's certainly possible. It's doable. Let's hit some more super chats. I love Mason Abdul, Jalen, and Will Johnson to pick 8, but none of these guys are Myles Garrett. Send the offer. 1,000% agree.
Facts.
1,000% agree. The game guy says we are not ready for a Garrett trade yet, bro. When are you ever going to be ready?
Facts.
Send it in, bro.
This the stuff that gets you ready.
Yep, send it in, and we're gonna be a much better team with the Myles Garrett, because they don't grow on trees. They don't become available very often. So we definitely We definitely need to figure it out. And people keep saying he's not coming here, bro. I'm telling you, the tide is turning around these parts, bro.
Look at what Garrett Wilson said. Just saying. Look how Micah talk about Bryce. So I don't know. Seemed like he kind of well liked around the league. You never know. Never know what guys really want at the end of the day.
Yep. You got it. You got to figure it out. So that is the Garrett Wilson situation. I would definitely figure it out. And Trill says, y'all talk about trade building through the team through the draft, but as soon as someone becomes no. It's not just someone. This is Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
this is not different. This is completely different. This is completely different, bro.
Defensive player of the year last year. He should have won it last year, but they sucked. So
we're not just talking about a random dude. We're talking about an elite player becoming available. I'm not talking about, respectfully, I'm not talking about Garrett Wilson, right? I'm not talking about that situation. Yeah. I'm talking about Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, bro. It's completely different.
Top of the league in his position.
Facts.
That's different.
Elite. Facts. But we'll see. We'll see, bro. We'll see.
It's interesting. I mean, you could do it because you were talking about Mahomes and how they kind of do his contract structure. But if you look at the Eagles, they kind of get away with that too. It's a lot of big contracts on there, but it's all on one side of the ball. So you can kind of get away with that if you draft well. It's interesting. It's different team building philosophies that could get it done. Because you look at the Eagles contract, that whole defense is rookie deals.
Bingo. Absolutely right. You absolutely want that. I preach it on the show all the time. You got to hit on your picks. And if you're not hitting on your picks, you end up like the Saints. But I digress. We'll talk about them a little bit later. All right. Here we go. Great segue.
Yeah.
Bro, I love to see this. So if you've been watching the show, bro, we've been kind of keeping track of all the coaching vacancies. And it is amazing to me how this team still does not have a head coach, bro. Like it all makes sense as to why. I've sat up here on this show year after year after year. And y'all, a lot of y'all in the chat, come on, raise your hand.
I was there.
Up here and tell me.
Seen it.
Y'all sit up here and tell me the cap doesn't exist. The cap doesn't. Look at what the Saints, they're 80 million over the cap, and they always get under the cap. Y'all keep telling me that. And I say it all the time. Eventually, you're going to have to pay the piper. Shout out to Dave in the building. Dave in the building right now. Dave, what's good with you, bro? Can't hear you. We talking about Saint slander right now. We still can't hear you, but we talking about Dave. We talking about Saint slander right now. Y'all sit up here and tell me that we cannot. We can get around the cap. The cap doesn't exist. They played around with it a lot. They restructured a bunch of contracts, kicked the can on all these guys, and I told y'all eventually you're gonna have to pay up. Facts. And now they're paying up. They can't even get a coach.
Facts.
They can't even get a coach. And that's largely in part to, number one, they won't get rid of Mickey Loomis. And number two, the contract structures are so bad, and they can't even get their own quarterback. They can't get a quarterback. They're handing a guy quarterback. So basically what's going to happen is whoever gets this job in the next 2 years is probably going to end up being fired.
They like the last two Texans head coach. Lovey Smith? It was somebody else. Both of those guys was there for a year, basically, and it was Cook. That's what it is as the Saints job right now, to be honest. Kick the can all you want down the road, but every road got to end. And it's looking like it right here for the Saints.
All right, you guys can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's on me. I had my whole contraption jacked up. Look, so man.
Dave, what you think about the Saints, bro? And Myles Garrett. You can go back to Myles Garrett real quick.
Yeah, I'll quickly talk about Myles Garrett. Everybody's in the chat. I was listening on the way in. To everybody in the chat that's out here talking about we can't trade for him. Forget all that. And I was on Twitter arguing with some of you guys talking about we're not even ready to be contenders. And the first thing I asked on Twitter was, were we ready to be contenders after the 2002 season? We're ready to be contenders after the 2014 season? Super Bowl contenders, excuse me. So let's not talk that way. This is a parity league. This ain't the NBA where there's only like two teams. Anybody can get there. Anybody can get there. Anything can happen. There was only one person that saw Detroit coming last year. Me. So it's cyclical. Things change. If we got the goods, we should go get them. We need to go get them. Fix this pass rush, man.
Mm-hmm.
We need to go get him.
If Dave didn't come up here and say we want to get Myles Garrett, I would have. Dog.
I said it in the chat. I didn't understand. Dog, no, there's no way. Look, man, you know how I feel about the pass rush situation.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we got to fix this.
So
there's nobody in this draft that's good as Myles Garrett. There might not be nobody in next year's draft that is good as Myles Garrett. Like, what are we discussing here?
So, Dave, is it a price that's too much?
No. No.
I don't expect that from y'all. I didn't expect that. I can't lie.
Bro, he's elite. Bro, he is.
Dog, he's one of the best pass rushers in the league. Like, this ain't like imagine if Julius Peppers is available in their prime. You don't think you're gonna spin that? Yeah, you're gonna spin that. This is Myles Garrett in his prime.
Yeah, and people keep saying, "Oh, he's old, bro. He's 29 years old,
Facts.
Bro. He can play, bro. How long did Julius Peppers play? And he was still effective at up in the age,
up until the end of his career. He balled for us before he retired.
9 of them. I think he had like 9.5.
9.5 sacks. When the last time we had a guy that had 9.5?
Exactly. We got 26-year-olds that can't get 2 sacks. You know what I mean? So what are we talking about?
And you guys are out here,
bro.
And you guys out here saying, "Oh no, he's too old." What do you mean he's too old? We got young guys that can't do it.
Now that Rashad broke down the cap hits, I know you don't count your money too early, but we got a lot of cap next year, regardless of what draft picks we got. So if you already got Garrett on the books and you can keep spending, look at the Eagles. They talking about the Eagles getting them right now. We could, be in that certain kind of same position somewhat if you make the trade. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I
just like there's some positions, man, you can still play at a high level for a long time, man.
Nice.
And I just don't understand. Like, I think it's wild to me. But then the next thing that'll happen will be those are the same ones, and sorry, Shad, and the same ones out here talking about we need to take a receiver with 8. And I'll be looking at y'all like, yeah, but then y'all
take them.
Not too much, Dave.
Bro. I'm
on the side with Rashad here.
I'm a Tet fan, bro.
Look, bro, it all depends who's sitting there at 8, bro, to convince me to take Tet.
It does depend.
It really depends because you can't convince me. Like, you're not taking him over Mason Graham. You're not taking him over Carter. You're not taking him over.
I saw that face. He said, "Yes, I am."
I was Mason Graham.
Really?
Nah. For sure. You run that pick in, but Mason. It's up in there.
That's tough. That's tough,
it's up in there.
Yeah. That's tough, bruh. I just look, man, and then we'll be complaining about the pass rush, just like we're supposed to be complaining if we don't trade for Myles Garrett. If we let some legitimate contender get Myles Garrett, and it's not for much, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
I'm going to lose my mind, and I'm gonna come back to this chat and find all y'all to talk about we can't go get this guy.
Bro, how often do we see, bro, these trades come out and they be like, "Oh, that was it? We could have did that." Y'all gonna be the same one. Yo, I'm telling you, it's gonna be the same people in the chat. I'm gonna
lose my mind, bro. Max. I will lose my mind if that happens.
Alex, I see you in the chat. That's facts, though.
But as for the Saints, I enjoy the fact that they can't find a coach, but I'm hearing that Kellen Moore is going to be the guy. So
I don't know. At the Senior Bowl, it sounded like Mike Kafka got a good chance too. I don't know. I don't like either if I'm the Saints fans, but it is what it is.
I mean, it's better than Brian Schottenheimer at least.
Yeah, I can say that. Well, which one? Which one? Kellen Moore, yeah.
Yes.
Kafka?
No, I don't know. No.
Yeah, that's what I said. Because I think they said when I was hearing down there, they had like a 9-10 hour interview with Kafka. Like they loved him. So
I mean, the reality is, whoever gets that job is gonna go through some growing pains for at least 2 to 3 years. So I hope the Saints fans are patient because of their cap situation.
3 years.
Bro, it's gonna take some time, bro. And
it's gonna take some time.
For me, I think whoever gets this job is getting canned in 2 years.
I was like 3 years.
Once they are able to like get their cap situation figured out, they're gonna end up wiping the slate clean. Everybody's gone, and then they're gonna start from scratch.
So, and that's the case. That means a black guy gonna get this job. It's a black job, man.
Go. There Dave go. Real quick.
Right?
I'm just saying, you telling me you about to clean slate in 2 years, I mean, that's Black Job Incorporated right there. Bring him in to take the try to figure out the mess and let him go because he couldn't succeed in a mess.
Yeah.
That's a classic Black Job right there.
Point. You see what
Nick Tri-State says, shout out to Jalen Coker and Sherry. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate that, Nick. And Stuart Moore says Peppers played until he was 36 and 37. Yes, and was very good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
that man switched to a 3-4 and preserved his life.
That boy's crazy. Good. And you got to look at it. Both of the Garrett and not to keep going back, but Garrett and Peppers is kind of the same guy, almost like a physical freak of nature.
They were both generational talents that came out of that.
Bro, I cannot believe we're talking ourselves out of.
There's no way. No. I'm not talking myself out of it. They are talking themselves out of it.
Y'all talking me into it a little bit because I don't want to give up 2 firsts, but I can see
in a heartbeat, bro.
And here's the thing. Don't you? Why not give up? Okay, hypothetically, let's say we get Myles Garrett. That makes us a what? A playoff contender, right?
For sure. I think we
that next pick for the next year should be in the 20s.
Yeah,
so who cares?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a good pick at that point. It ain't gonna be like what happened when we traded for Bryce Young when we were terrible. It shouldn't be that.
What y'all are doing that don't want to send the first in, y'all are projecting that we're gonna be trash again, and it's gonna be another top 10 pick. So I would then agree with you.
But it shouldn't be. We should be like in the 20 to 32 range. Like we should be in a playoff contender type of situation.
Send that thing in, bro. Send it, bro. Pause. Send it.
The cap changed my mind. The cap hits versus how much cap we got. That's what changed my mind.
Folks got to realize, man, we were like literally a decent defense away from beating the Super Bowl contenders this year, Super Bowl participants this year.
We a decent defense away from winning the division.
Yeah,
right.
Being real.
Yeah, like
bro. Honestly, it ain't gonna take that much, bro. If we ask
if you
not
keep
that
it
far
above,
off, bro.
The division's in shambles. Like the Bucks are losing all their the Bucks are losing all their coaches. They out here not letting my man go over there. The Saints can't find the Saints can't find a coach. The Falcons don't know and I like Raheem. The Falcons don't know what to do with themselves. They found out today that Kirk Cousins was out here playing hurt for half the season. So like they don't know it's a mess in that division. It is prime for us to take. The Bucks are winning that division by default because of how horrid the rest of us are.
Yeah.
Like that's what's happening. Like I think Bucks fans want Todd Bowles out of there, but they can't get him out of there because they keep winning the division.
Facts.
Bro, I gotta go back to Liam Cohen real quick. Bro, that's
the most gangster thing I've ever seen in my life. We haven't talked about it. We didn't talk about that.
Bro, I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but bro, when I saw that Duval, bro, I was in tears, bro. It was the way he said it, but it was that little smirk afterwards.
Yeah, it was the face.
Bro, I was in tears, bro. I was crying. Bro, that joint was funny, bro. I was like, man, everybody in the comments talking about, 1-16, here we go. I was like, bro, 17. Bro, it is funny, bro. I was in literal tears.
I didn't realize he's a Rhode Islander either. I guess Liam Cohen is from Warwick, Rhode Island. Based on where Family Guy's at. Fun fact for y'all. Based out of because Family Guy based out of Rhode Island.
All right, let's keep this thing moving. He's not, and let me preface this by saying he wasn't fired. They mutually parted ways, whatever that means. But I
know what that means.
I just added, you know what
I mean? I know what that means. Yeah, that's that Falcon hate showing up right now. It's okay.
Yeah, he was for the Falcons. But yeah, so we are moving on. Mutually parting ways with D'Angelo Hall. Any thoughts on this? Any thoughts on that situation?
I mean, the defense was bad. I mean,
it
could have been more coaches could have been out the paint, but I mean, a couple coaches already been out the paint, right? Because this ain't the first positional coach that got let go.
I think 4 or 5 of them did.
Yeah. Nah. Even Rose was like, I'm gonna keep my job. I gotta get some of y'all out of here. So
I ain't got nothing. I mean, somebody in chat say he wanted a promotion. That's what I seen too. But
really,
I think
for what?
Yeah, he wanted to be a primary coach instead of assistant. So I don't know. From what I've seen.
Okay.
Well, don't move me at the end of the day.
Nah. Yeah. And they moved him.
That's funny. And White Chocolate Espresso says, why not trade back and get an extra first to get him? Who says you're gonna get an extra first to trade him back?
Who said we could trade back?
Who said? Yeah, nah.
There's a lot of assumptions in the super chat. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of
Everybody stay
assumptions.
But we
traded
ain't even gotta do that. We can just do it. We just do it and then be done with it. And then because we should be better next year. Like I mean, we should be like if we get Myles Garrett, we should be better next year regardless because we should be doing the right personnel things. But if we get Myles Garrett, that's an instant injection to that defense with Derek Brown coming back. Our front four will be vicious or 7 because we are gonna play a 3-4.
Yeah, 3-4 still, which is interesting. I wonder how he fits in that. That is interesting to think about.
So this is something to keep an eye on. Shout out to Noli. Jackson Dart keeps balling. We could trade back. Yeah, because if he goes up into the top 8, bro, that's gonna be massive for us. That's gonna take away another pick. I'm just saying it's gonna push some talent back. So
just remember, it's smoke screen season. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know, man.
Yes, because Jim Nagy, the way he was talking in the introductory press conference at the Senior Bowl, everything's a smoke screen right now, man. These guys, nobody wants to pick in the first for real, from what I've seen.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm like,
because there's some folks that ain't impressed with the quarterback class, but most of what I've been hearing is that it's Shador, it's Cam, and there's nobody else worth taking until late day 2.
Some people say it's just Cam.
So yeah,
it depends. Jim Nagy said it was like teams who only got like 6 first-round grades on their whole board. So it's interesting when you talk about trading back and stuff. You got to be somebody for people to trade up for at the end of the day. But we'll see.
That says a lot about the depth of that draft, man. If that's the case, you got folks with 6 first-round grades. Sheesh.
Yeah. He said the best place to be is that day 2 range. You want to get as much day 2 picks as you can. So I don't know. I would trade back to get more day 2 picks, not necessarily get another first. That's not really. But like I said, somebody got to be there to trade up.
Facts. It takes 2 to tango. So
I mean, you're gonna have the QB inflation. So you're gonna have at least one guy that's gonna go in that round that had no business going in that round because that's just the way it is when it comes to the draft. Because that position is always all about in demand. Like you think about the Titans, you think about the Browns, you think about the Giants, the Raiders. They all need quarterbacks.
True.
One of them cats is gonna jump. Like they're gonna jump. They're gonna reach. Like it's just the way that it goes. They're gonna reach. They're going to reach for a guy.
Or it could be the Kenny Pickett year. Because remember, everybody, we were supposed to take Malik Willis. Panthers, everybody wanted him to come here. And he didn't even go in the first, 2 rounds, I want to say?
Yeah, he didn't go in the first.
It depends.
All right, real quick. Antoine says he thought he killed that joint, that Duval. He did. He got it right, though. I did see he corrected it and ran it back.
Fixed it up.
Yeah, but that joint had
it doesn't matter.
Tears,
the first impression matters, bro.
Facts.
Bro, tears. Real tears. I'm talking literally I was crying when I saw that, bro. He thought he murdered that joint. But all right, let's talk about the coaches that we did add. DB coach Ronaldo Hill, which is I think part of the reason why we were able to move on from D'Angelo, and an outside linebacker AC Carter. Both of these gentlemen were hired. Like Dave said earlier, we did get rid of a bunch of guys. These were 2 guys that were added. Any thoughts? Ronaldo Hill was a former defensive coordinator for the Chargers. So any thoughts on these guys?
For me, don't know much about Ronaldo Hill, but I know AC Carter. That's the guy from the Rams. Yep. And what if he's the sauce? I'm just go ahead and go out. What if he's the sauce? Because you look at that D line, it's been guys that I didn't even like in the draft that they figured it out. And so, it kind of pushes up guys on my board like Mykel Williams that I'm not necessarily a fan of because they prospects. Kind of pushes it up, having that history that he has, developing guys. Because he was the whole or assistant defensive line coach, not just outside linebackers in one spot. The whole defensive line, you got to give him some credit for. It's interesting. We'll see.
That is an interesting point because when you talk up, I know people aren't a fan of like Shamar Stewart and you think he's kind of raw. Yeah. But, bro, if he gets the right coaching, which is what I've been preaching, if Fam gets the right coaching, the potential is there. So we'll see how that goes because we definitely need to improve. And coaching does matter, right? I keep saying that. Like, I know we've seen some guys come here and bust, and we thought they've had, all the intangibles, and then they get on the field and they look lost. But coaching matters. And so when you got it, like you're saying, if he's truly the sauce for that defense, for the Rams, then we might be on to something. It's a good point.
Thanks.
Mr. Hunky Dory says thirsty teams this year. Who is the most desperate? That's a good question. Who is the most desperate to get it right this year? That's a great question.
The Browns. The Browns. The Browns.
Loki,
the nasty man ain't coming back. The nasty man ain't coming back, man. It's the Browns.
I say us. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, but we're not looking for a quarterback. So when I think about thirsty teams, I'm thinking about folks who need a quarterback.
I'm thinking about this our window. Like Bryce got 3 years on that rookie deal. We talked about it. Yeah. If you keep missing picks now, it's gonna get even harder in the future. You feel me? So we got to get stuff right now to win today.
Now, I'm with you there. But
that's a good question. I think somebody said the Cowboys too. That Cowboys are
Dallas is. They don't want to win, man. Jerry, like I said last week on PNP, Dallas has no interest in winning championships anymore. They just want to sell tickets. Jerry Jones wants to sell tickets. That's all he wants to do. So as a fan base, y'all got to decide what y'all want. Y'all cool with him just selling tickets? That's fine. But he doesn't want to win anymore.
Yo, that Michael Irvin rant he was speaking all facts, bro. He was talking about the generations that have no idea about the Cowboys, and they're just living off the past. I was like, bro, like you're
me.
But that's ultimately on Jerry too. Like Jerry,
it is.
Jerry has gotten to the point where he just wants to make money, and he can make money because of the star. So he got the star, and everybody's talking about him. So he's gonna make his money, but he ain't gonna win anything. We've been to more NFC Championship games since 1996 than them. Mm-hmm. They haven't been to one since 95. Like
crazy.
They're not here to win championships anymore. That era's over. They got 5. Congrats. They can stay at 5. So multiple teams is going to pass him in the next 30 or 40 years with them championship count. That's just the way it's going to be. The Chiefs about to be one of them.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is. Like, they're just going to have to deal with it. I mean, it is what it is.
People in the chat saying the Giants. I can see that too.
Man, but the Giants are going to screw it up, man. Because I've been saying on my HBCU shows, because one of my partners is he's a Giants fan. I pretty much say y'all ain't drafting no black quarterback, man. Y'all just going to get ready for Jason Dart or whoever the hell y'all going to take. That's just not what y'all do.
Dave, man, you a funny dude.
That's just not what y'all do. They should be drafting Shador. They should be drafting Shador if he's there, but I just don't know if they're going to do it.
Should they?
They need a quarterback bad, bro. Cam Ward ain't gonna be there. Like, I think that's clear, right? Cam Ward's not gonna be there.
True.
He's not gonna be there. I mean, he's not. Now, if he's there, then you take Cam. Absolutely. But he's not gonna be there. So at this, you gotta fix the quarterback position, man.
So question. Are you taking Shador now, or maybe taking a chance on, because think about it. If they get it wrong, Dable's gone. It don't matter.
But you know what I really think they're gonna do?
What?
My buddy is furious. He'd be furious as hell. I think they're gonna trade with JJ McCarthy. Don't call me. You know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna trade with JJ. I think they're gonna go after JJ.
Nah, I think it's over for Sam. I think that's JJ.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that's JJ.
I know we got Sam Slander as Panthers fan. I don't know, man. I think they're gonna pay him.
I think it's Rasmus. I think that's a prime Alex Smith.
I think if somebody gives them a pick for JJ, I think they will move him. I really do. Because Sam played well, man. I mean, outside of the last 2 games, overall he had a good season. Like he played well. Like I mean, he played well. Yeah, he played well. I mean, I know how we all feel about him because what he did here, but we've learned that it wasn't just him.
True.
But you know, I think they'll probably trade JJ for some picks. I think they will because he's still on a rookie deal. There's value to that.
No.
With a 5th-year option, there's value to that. There's value.
Alex Smith made the playoffs that last year.
I know.
Yeah. So you never know. It might have been in the cards the whole time. You never know.
Isn't Sam a free agent though? Sam's a free agent, so he can't be traded. Yeah, he's a free agent.
Oh yeah. They just let him walk. They just let him walk.
So we'll see.
Sure Side Cat says, don't be surprised if Micah Carson demands a trade. I'm not too sure about that.
I can see it.
They didn't pay him yet, have they?
Nope.
That's why they're gonna trade him. Jerry's losing, but he ain't trying to lose money. So I wouldn't be. I'm telling you, they're not there to win football games anymore. And now the players are about to figure it out. There goes your wide receiver y'all been begging for right there, Bryson Tremaine.
Bro, come on, man. This dude, Bryson Tremaine, yo, he is a future. Got signed to a futures contract. Interesting deal with him. He is 6'4", 212 pounds. So he's pretty tall guy from LA. Played in Stanford from 2018 to 2022. Had 1,000 yards there in his last season. He's been with the Commanders practice squad. Played, I think he had one catch in a real game. But yeah, it's just interesting that they are continuing to add those futures contracts. So we'll see. Real quick, more super chats coming in. Stuart Moore says no, Vikings not letting go of JJ, not letting JJ go. Sam Darnold is trash.
We don't even know if JJ's good. Like we are here making assumptions. We don't even know if JJ's good.
Said he was looking solid.
So
yeah, he had a solid preseason. Yeah, he had a solid preseason.
No, he looked all right in the preseason.
He didn't look that much worse than Sam.
Right. You can't go. Well, never mind. I ain't gonna see. I'm gonna leave that alone. Shout out to Ladare. He says, if we trade for a wide receiver, who would you guys want, or go through free agency or draft? Trading for a wide receiver, obviously Garrett. If Garrett becomes available,
if Garrett Wilson comes available, you make that happen, Captain.
I mean, I think you got to start swinging for the fences here. Like I think gone are the days where we could just sit back. You got to get in some elite talent. I hear y'all building through the draft. That's great, but you have to add in free agency, especially when you get some elite talent that becomes available. So you can't just like you look at the Eagles, right? They were able to go out there and get AJ Brown. They're consistently able to go out there and get guys to add to that roster to make it better. It's not just all building through the draft. Yes, you do have to hit in the draft, but you also need to, when somebody becomes available, you got to go get it, which goes back to the Myles Garrett conversation. It also applies to Garrett Wilson. It also applies to T. Higgins in free agency. It applies to a lot of things. You got to continue to get better. But my man said, Derek says, after Luka trade, anything is possible.
Oh yeah, we ain't even talk. Y'all ain't talking about that, did you, bro?
Nah, we sure did, man. We can do a whole pod on that. So I don't want to go down that. I don't want to go down that because we got a lot to talk about, and we don't got too much time. I'm not trying to be up here all night. So, but yeah, man, shout out to Luka though, and the Mavs and the Lakers. It's crazy trade.
That is insanity, bro.
Steve says, so without pick 58, how much would it take to move up to the upper third of the second round?
Probably like a third round pick, maybe.
Yeah, it depends. You could probably dip into future picks too. But that's a great question. I think you could probably a third. Probably we got a couple of fourths. I want to say
you got 2 fourths.
Yeah, you got a couple of fifths.
We have to give up a third and a fourth to get depending on how you want to get in a second.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know.
A future third in this year, one of this year's fourths. That's a pretty good deal for us.
Yeah, it's a solid deal. But you can also get there by trading back too. You trade back in the first, you can acquire an earlier pick depending on who it is. Obviously takes 2 to tango, right? But if a team that has an earlier pick wants to move up and maybe grab one of the quarterbacks, maybe grab somebody that they really, really want, you can acquire another earlier second round pick. So there's multiple ways you can get up there. But I do think I think a trade back for me, I think we're going to have a lot of talent available. And I think the Panthers, if the way that board falls, they see multiple guys on their big board, then they probably going to end up trading back and trying to get some more capital. We've seen it before. I'm sure we'll see it again. And they won't be afraid to move up either.
It'd be a good move too.
It would be. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, patreon.com/PanthernNationPC. Go and sign up there, man. Got a lot of good content coming. Shout out to all our MVPs. Shout out to all of our franchise folks. And shout out to the free agents, man. We appreciate all y'all support. Channel would not be what it is without your support. So, Dave, real quick on Underdog Fantasy.
Yep. So, we got the big game this weekend. So you guys need to go to underdogfantasy.com. They're going to do some drafts for the big game. So go to underdogfantasy.com and use the promo code PNP when you do. But they don't just do NFL. They do NBA. They do hockey. They're going to do baseball when it comes back. They do an MMA, UFC. They do it all. They do higher and lowers. You can win up to 1,000 times your money if you like. So just go to underdogfantasy.com and use the promo code PNP when you do.
Shout out to Underdog. My bad. All right, let's get into some of these daggone prospects. I asked the real ball watcher to go out there and send me his top 5 guys that he witnessed at the Senior Bowl. Okay, and so he gave me that list. I do have. I'm supposed to have some film here. Let me go back. Let me refresh it.
A video said it wasn't found, man. That joint disappeared into the night.
Let me refresh it real quick. But Walter Nolan. Now, I got to be honest. Obviously knew about Walter Nolan, but tell me what you saw and what you continue to see in his game. What popped out at the Senior Bowl for Walter Nolan?
Man, to me, I always compared him to like a Chris Jones guy. That's his ceiling to me. And he compared himself to Aaron Donald. And I didn't necessarily see it until I got out there, because he is a smaller guy like Aaron Donald was.
Yep.
But dog, that first step that he has, the stoutness in the run game, he does get washed down here and there because everybody does. But the stoutness he has in the run game to be able to split doubles. I mean, there was times he played 0, and he's smaller than me. Like, I was like, all right, this dude kind of small to be, being able to hold up that well, but he can rush from 5 technique, wide 9, and win. Like, I think it's Will Campbell from LSU. He's on tape beating him from a 5 technique at the end. So this is a guy that you can move around. And for me, I do have him now as my defensive tackle 1. And
over Mason Graham. Is that what you're saying?
For sure. I know it's crazy.
That's why you felt away. Okay.
Talk about it.
Mason Graham to me is like your safe, hey, I'm just go off the backboard with it. He's a good run defender, good pass rusher, but the tools aren't there. He has short arms. He's much of a smaller guy. He's not going to be a hold up at nose if you need him to move there. And he's not that good, rushing from different 5 techniques, things like that. The ceiling on Walter Nolan is much better because he's much longer. He's much stronger at the point of attack. He's faster than him. It didn't matter who. Like Willie Lampkins was a guy that was like getting a lot of hype on Twitter, TV, all of that stuff as a much smaller guy, 5'10", 270, really quick guy. And Walter Nolan, I mean, it was 1-1-on-1 where Willie just snapped the ball and Walter Nolan's catching it. Like, literally, that's how fast he is in his first step. So I think that ceiling, you got to push those guys up with the ceiling plus the polish that he has. You got to push those guys up over the safer picks, maybe high floor picks. To me, that's how my boy.
Yeah. So talk to me about where you see him fitting and how he fits with potentially Derrick Brown, because I think obviously we know, bro, our biggest weakness is on that front, right? And now we heard a lot about rushing the passer and the quickness off the ball and all that good stuff. Now, is he gonna help us in the run game? Because I think that's where a lot of Panther fans is gonna be like, all right, this is cool, but if he can't stop the run, I mean, that's cute, but we need a run stuffer. And I think a lot of Panther fans are clamoring for a true nose, right? Which is not what Walter is. But what's your thoughts on that?
So for me, this is your full-blown BPA and figure it out later. Just like the Eagles do. You got to get, if a guy like Walter Nolan is there in a trade back scenario, or maybe even at 8, depending on how I'm feeling closer to the draft season, you got to take him and you got to sit down with Ashawn Robinson and Derrick Brown in the room and say, hey, we're going to have to move some guys around and figure this out. He's great in the run game for sure. Don't get it twisted. He's really good in the run game. He's not one of these DPR guys that, he's just a good pass rusher. He flashes. Like I said, he's good against double teams, splitting double teams. Great run defender at Ole Miss. Some people think he's better than Mason Graham in the run defense. I don't know if I'm ready to go there. I think they're somewhat the same level. But this one, like I said, this one of those guys where you just got to pick them and figure it out. I just think of those sets where if you take him and somebody in the second round, you're able to walk him out there, Clowney, Wanham, second round edge rusher, and just go all out blitz, and you got this much speed and power coming at you, especially with him and Clowney. It could be nasty on third down. So
it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what I did in my last mock draft Monday. I traded back. Yeah, I traded back. I was able to get Walter Nolan at 18. So I took him. And then I also was able to, in the trade back, I acquired another second round pick. I believe it was pick 40 something, maybe close to 50. And I was able to get Shamar Stewart. So so it was dope. It was dope. I think we need, again, it's a couple other edge rushers. out there that I think we could take. You know, I don't know if Mike Green gonna fall that far. He's kind of out of here.
He's up.
The rocket is attached to his back right now. He's out of here. And speaking of which,
next guy.
He is.
Next guy.
Think about Mike Green.
Mike Green, he showed me everything I needed to see for real. I do got an eval of him on my channel at The Real Wall Watcher. You'll be able to go watch that. One of my most popular evals this season. But I talked to him for a second after the first practice, and he talked to me. He was like, I'm here to show that I got power and I can stay up in the run game. That's all I'm here to show. And conveniently enough, the next day, we all seen it. He ran flat over Josh Connerly in those one-on-ones, and he packed his bags and went home. So I think already as a pass rusher, when it comes to speed, bend, things like that, he was there. He was there already. Simple as that. But, you know, you just needed to see that power component and being a kind of slender guy, much skinnier guy, but still a good build. Pause. Crazy. You wanted to see how much power he could get against better competition because he is playing group of 5 guys, you know. And on Ohio State, he had a couple flash plays, but he felt like Brian Burns versus Ohio State and not like a game-wrecking Khalil Mack type of guy. So that's what you wanted to see at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, because a lot of the buzz was, you know, he's undersized and he came in at 6'3", a little light. And so let me ask you this. When you're watching him and you turn on the film, who are you comparing him to? Do you got like a pro comp for him at all?
I don't do comps because you never know how guys get coached. But I do shades of. So it's like I said, it's just guys when I'm watching them. All right, this comes to my mind. He does this like this person. And this is the closest I'll get to a comp for Mike Green or for anybody. He looks like Khalil Mack to me, man. I think people think of Khalil Mack now as this much power rusher guy. But you go back to his Oakland days, he was bending the corner. Shout out to Jello. Bending the corner, getting around guys, getting around with speed. yeah. And they're the same size, actually. 6'3", 250, same exact build. That's who he reminds me of most at his ceiling. At his best.
Yeah, no, that's fair, bro. When I was putting this together, bro, he had that spin move. I don't know if y'all saw it.
Yo, I saw it.
That spin move was stupid, bro. I was like, wow, you it's like that. You know, that takes some time to develop, bro. He's like that, and I can see in a trade back scenario, I can certainly see. Where do you think he's gonna go?
Oh, it's cooked for the trade back stuff. He's top 10.
You're gonna have to take him at 8. You got to take him at 8 if you want him.
Exactly. Talking to people down there, sticking in all that stuff, he's gone. It's a reason he left early. He left early. Like, it's over. Especially he hasn't even gone to the combine yet because he's gonna do crazy numbers at the combine. So it's gonna even boost him up even more. To me, he's edge 2 already.
Okay.
So yeah, really good
Carter
player.
And Green. So Carter and Green. No, you don't got.
Carter. I don't know yet.
So you don't.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Right now, I got Abdul still.
Hold on. Who's your 1? You got a 2. If you got a 2, that means you got a 1.
Because right now it's still Carter, but I gotta wait because they're both high prospects, and Mike Green
might pass him.
And power, he might be better against the run. That you got to push him up a little bit above Carter. So we'll see. Okay. It depends.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair. That is certainly fair. I think you got to keep your eyes on him, man, because it even with the hype, it was definitely some question marks. It was some people questioning him. Oh, he's too light. He's too small. So we're gonna see it. Maybe that's smoke screen. You got to be careful what you listen to around here because people be lying out in these streets. They be trying to
it's lying season, man.
To get that stock to drop a little bit. But yeah, Mike Green definitely was a name that was floating around heavy out in the streets for the Senior Bowl. All right. Next up, we had what do we have? Oh, Darius Alexander. So I saw you dropped the video today with him. Talk to me about Darius.
Dog, this full of hot takes. All of a sudden, y'all getting all the content.
Hey, run it.
I just dropped the eval, like you said, this morning, so you can go watch that and see what I'm trying to get across. But this dude is maybe defensive tackle 3 or 4 for me. Because he's just stronger than everybody. He's just like, I'll throw another comp, but really shades of Fletcher Cox. He's so strong. You watch him on these highlights. He's running through people, walking guys to the quarterback. He's laying guards and centers down sometimes. Like I said yesterday, one Carolina, if y'all caught me there, you take a newborn, you lay them on the bed, make sure their head secured. That's how it looks like he's doing these guarding tackles out here. So, and also at the Senior Bowl, he showed that he's so elusive and explosive. They had him rushing from 5 technique at defensive end and winning, not winning with power, winning with swipes and dipping under the tackle. So really, really dangerous defensive tackle. I think he'll probably be gone day 2, maybe late day 1. I can see him being an Eagles type of guy where, like I said, just go get him.
Yeah, the rich get richer types. But it's great when you got that scenario where you don't got to play a guy early. You could just develop them, throw them in there in situations. And like, that's how those guys, man, that's how they end up being elite. Like, you don't got to rush them out there. They can slowly develop. And I think that would be a crazy situation. I mean, the Eagles just got they're a well-oiled machine defensively right now, bro. Like, they just nice. But no, I think it's definitely I think so I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't too familiar with his game like that until you kind of pointed it out. And like, I was like, man, this dude right here is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised most folks aren't really talking about him a little bit more. You see that run game right there, him playing the run. I mean, he's very solid. He's very
he
solid.
is like running he's pushing these cats. Tough folks, man.
Yeah,
he's different, bro. He's different.
Coming to their front door. Good grief.
The best thing when you watch him, it don't matter if it's a double team. He's not moving. Like, he's not moving from his spot. I know I said Walter Nolan, sometimes guys get washed down. It's not him. He's different. It's a little different when it comes to Darius Alexander. He's not getting moved.
So I guess what would you say his biggest strength is, like, versus let's say if we're comparing the two, we're comparing Walter Nolan versus Darius Alexander. Are they 2 different types of tackles? Like, where do you kind of have them?
For sure, they're definitely 2 different types. This is your more power run game, get you kind of like Derrick Brown, but a little bit better of a pass rusher. Get you maybe 30, 40 pressures a year, which is still good for a defensive tackle. But you getting maybe 3-2 sacks, but elite versus the run. Walter Nolan is that's your Jalen Carter, your, like I said, Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, blowing it up, being your number one, like a unit, the number one guy on your defensive unit. Like, all right, we got a game plan for this guy. I think that's the difference between the 2.
Okay. So have you like watched a bunch of film from him so far? I know you saw him at the Senior Bowl, but how much are there any concerns? I'm questioning if all the positives, why is he being talked about day 2, day 3? Like, are there consistency issues? Like, what do you see the biggest question mark for him?
For me, he's slow getting off. Like, he's not going to be this guy that's going to win. Like, it's talked about Walter Nolan getting by before the center's even done snapping. He's not that guy. So that's why I don't think he could be your dominant, like, all right, we got a game plan for this guy. That's why I put him more in the Derrick Brown tier. But also his motor. Sometimes in the game, it's just like, all right, he's just now getting in the stance and the ball already snapped. So I think he might be a guy that you kind of got to put on a little bit of a snap count so he doesn't burn too hot. Maybe instead of playing 60 snaps, he got to play 35 to 40. He could be a guy like that. So he's not perfect. Nobody's perfect, of course. But
of course.
He's a really, really good player. Like I said, I can see him going day 1. Once we get close to the combine, these guys shoot up. I mean, we saw Trayvon Walker wasn't talked about as a first overall pick until the day of, and then it happened. So, especially for smaller school guys. So we just got to see how it goes from here on out. Yeah,
we'll see. And Toledo, they Quinyon, so they putting together a nice little roster here. So, hey, that pipeline is starting to develop a little bit. All right, we'll move on to your next pick.
Next guy,
Kyle Williams. Williams out of Washington State, the Cougs. What you thinking here?
Dog, man, it hurt me so bad talking to these receivers, and none of them are like, every time I ask, you met with the Panthers? Nah, not yet. Nah, I haven't.
By the way,
before we got the hype. So I think he's going to be this type of riser. I think he was one of the fastest guys at the Senior Bowl, almost hit 22 miles per hour. His route running is crisp. If you watch him with Cam Ward, you really see like, oh, this dude is different. He's pulling down. He reminds me of Garrett Wilson just a little bit. Not as great, of course, but the way he's able to pull down contested catches for his size. You see the yak right now. Crazy yak ability. I think he had like 1,100 yards last year. He's dangerous to me. He's dangerous. His releases, and I'll talk to him for a second. He talked about how he models his game and his releases after guys like Doug Baldwin, Devontae Adams, and Stevie Johnson. So a guy like that's that refined and, digging in the crates, because we were around the same age. I watched maybe a year or two of Stevie Johnson for real. To know that much about, Stevie Johnson and to model your game after him, he's going to be a good player at the next level for sure.
Interesting. So talk to me about where you seeing him fitting with the Panthers per se, because everybody keeps saying, I know I'm saying it. I think we need to continue to add to this room, because while it's good, you got to worry about Adam Thielen, right? He's getting ready to call it quits. Every year we're sitting here talking about Adam Thielen. The good news is that you got a very good player in Jalen Coker that kind of models his game after Thielen. Very similar. Like, you just take one and develop them and see what happens. Like, you gotta have one in the stash.
Let me be clear, man, to the chat. I don't have a problem with drafting a wide receiver. I just have one drafting one in the first round.
Bro, you get the talent wherever it's at, bro. If one fall in your lap, you got to take it.
This would be a guy you like, Dave, because this is a guy that's going to be day 2.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
The dude you like.
I'm cool with that.
But for fit-wise, I think getting him, you keep Jalen Coker in the slot, you move him to Z and keep XL at X. So it's not a guy that's kind of taking away snaps from your guys that you're developing. Main thing I'll talk about when needing weapons, last in the league in YAC, bottom of the league in wide receiver grade for PFF, bottom of the league in separation. He fixes 2 of those things. As we can see, this highlight, the YAC, and easily his separation, like I said, with his releases and things like that, and downfield speed too. We also need that too. He's kind of your.
That's where he was hit, like you mentioned, his releases. He kind of got somebody. He put somebody in the blender.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was, but somebody they need to throw that film away. But what else did you see? What else did you see about regarding Kyle out there in Mobile?
The speed. I mean, he was able to beat guys over top easily. We'll talk about another guy later that was unguardable, but he was just as good as him when it comes to in those 1-on-1s and 7-on-7s, just not being guarded because his release is so good. He's so fast and he's such a refined route runner that once he beats you off the line, there's no coming back. So he's just consistently open. But the quarterback sucked out there. So they was missing him a lot, missing him deep, missing him underneath. It was bad, but he was open though. That's all that matters because I know Bryce ain't gonna miss.
Facts. Talk about it. I like that. I like that. But yeah, man, this was interesting. This is another one where I didn't know too much about him. I threw on a couple of tape, a couple pieces of film, not film, but highlights, and just kind of looking at him. He's definitely, like you said, solid. Obviously, you can't really judge someone off of highlights, but that's what I was looking at when I had the chance. So shout out to Kyle, man. This is a good little look. I think that again, I think the Panthers need to continue to add to their wide receiver room. It ain't, bro. We ain't where we need to be. You need to continue to add weapons for Bryce Young. If you want Bryce Young to be successful, then you ain't rolling out the same wide receiver core that you had last year. You gotta improve it. And so I think we'll do that. All right, we'll go to the next person, next individual.
And fall down to the second, maybe the third, depending on how things go.
And he had 16 and a half sacks last year, like one less than Mike Green. So this ain't one of those like Myles Williams where you just projected. No. The stuff he did showed up. Tape, stat sheet, all of that. It showed up.
So I'm also seeing Hassan in the comparisons. Is that just because of the size? You think he didn't seem to be as fast as Hassan was?
I don't see. I don't know. Like I said, I only seen 2 games, so I don't want to make a huge judgment. Sure. But I can see it somewhat. I can see it a little bit.
Okay, fair. All right, so that was your top 5 guys. Any other honorable mentions before we get into the sleeper portion? Like, is anybody that was just like? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a lot of names out there, man.
A lot.
You know, it's a lot. And I'm gonna be honest. One of my guys, man, Shamar Stewart, and I know he left early too. But bro, I'm telling y'all, man, he's for me. That's like one of them ones for me. And I don't know how you feel about him. If you could, and I know you probably don't have nothing prepared. If you could just talk to me a little bit about Shamar.
Oh no! I've been talking about him all week. He's interesting to me because I'm not a fan of those high floor guys with no production. Like Myles Williams, I keep mentioning him. I'm not a fan of Myles at all. But I can see it with Shamar Stewart. That's the difference. I can see where they're going. He's closer to the Trayvon Walker to me than guys like Myles. I can see where if you get him good coaching, he's going to be that guy. So it's interesting. He's super athletic, much more athletic than everybody. My thing is, he tries to out athletic everybody, and it didn't work. It worked in college, but it didn't because he only got 1.5 sack every single year in college. So if you're not athleticism guys there to produce, it's going to be hard to do that at the next level and produce. Like I see a lot of Jared Verse when guys mention him. Jared Verse was going off in college. Like he was getting 10, 11 sacks. He wasn't getting 1.5. So I see it though. I can definitely see it. He'll definitely be a first round pick. And if we take him, I'll be cool with it, because I got faith in the new coaches that we brought in. Just the one guy, really. So we'll have to see. I don't know. It depends. He could be he's probably going to be in my top 5 edges, maybe towards the back half. We'll see.
What about any cornerbacks? Like, were there any corners that you didn't like? Anybody that kind of?
Let me open my notes.
Making some noise out there. You had to write down some pronunciation.
No. I took notes every play. I'm like, all right, this guy's popping off. It was a guy from Louisville, Quincy Riley. He was making plays. Like for me, Senior Bowl is hard to watch everybody because it's full field. The positions are split up, and I know Panthers mostly need D-line. So I was over there with those guys. So if you're keep popping up, and I'm not watching you, that's how you know they're hooping. Quincy Riley was hooping. If you look at last year with Jarvis Brownlee, a guy who came out of Louisville also, blew up the Senior Bowl, had a good rookie year. I could see that momentum happening the same for him. So I liked him a lot, for sure.
Dope. All right, bet. Then let's get into some of the sleepers. And my bad, I kind of put you on the spot with those.
Nah, you good,
so my bad.
This is what I do, man. I can talk about anything.
Fair enough. All right, so let's talk about Terrence Ferguson. This is one of your first sleepers that you sent in. What's your thoughts here?
T. Ferg, man. See, I'm an Oregon fan, so I try my best.
Like bias.
It's okay. As long as you put it out there. As long as you put it out there, then that's cool.
You're good. Yeah, you.
And I haven't missed him all off season, but he was the second best tight end out there. Arroyo was obviously the best. Everybody's seen it, but there was nobody better than Fannin, better than the guy from LSU, Jason Taylor's son or whatever he is. Better than ever. He was getting open, and if he wasn't getting open, I think it's like his son or nephew, something like that. But yeah, he was getting open, double moves, making guys stumble, fall. He was making contested catches with one hand, falling to the ground, contested catches through passes interference. I think this is a guy where you can use him kind of in the big slot and also in the wing, but also in line to help a little bit with a little bit more athleticism compared to JT Sanders. So I liked him a lot, though. He was really good at Oregon, obviously, and really good at Senior Bowl. He surprised me.
Interesting. So you brought it up a little bit. Let's expound upon how do you think he fits. Like, because everybody, when you talk about because I agree, we need to fix and improve our tight end room. Like we finally moving on from Ian Thomas. I hope we don't. Yeah, we need to move in another direction. I like Trumbull a lot. I like Tommy Trumbull. I do. Friend of the show because we had him on the show before. Shout out to Tommy Trumbull. I like him. But after that, it's like, okay, what are we doing here? You got JT who's developing, obviously, so I left him out. And he's going to be a part of the long-term plan. But something's missing, right?
Yeah.
And so how does Terrence Ferguson help with that?
Same thing with the wide receivers. Bottom of the league in yak, bottom in separation. JT, that's not his game. He's not separating. He's not making guys miss. When he moved side to side, it looked like Icky out there caught a pass. But if he going downhill, he good. This is a guy that's going to be able to catch tight end screens, get upfield, make guys miss. I mean, you see it on the highlights right now. He's making guys miss. But also watching a lot of film on Bryce and doing videos, they lined up JT Sanders a lot at wide receiver, like X, Z, outside. Not necessarily his game. He made it work because him and Bryce just had some type of chemistry when it came to, scrambling and just throwing it deep. This is a guy you're going to be able to line up at wide receiver and he'll have success. So it doesn't take JT off the field. He'll still be able to play in line. And this guy can be your, like I said, big slot, maybe even X receiver on some plays. Not Travis Kelce. That's not my comp. That's not even my shades of, but almost how they use Travis Kelce somewhat.
Interesting. All right, shout out to Terrence Ferguson, man. We gotta check him out. All right, so the next person that you sent in, Aeneas
Peeves, man. Another guy where he's super small, and you expect him to be terrible against the run, but I put it in my notes. the first 3 plays of teams on the first day were all inside zone and outside zone plays. He was the first person in the backfield. It was a play where he got to the running back before the handoff was complete. He's a super fast, super stout run defender. Surprised me a lot. And I seen on Twitter, I can't remember, I think it was Dane Brugler. He talked about how these smaller defensive tackles who are much refined with their moveset translate better than these super power guys that are just overwhelming people. Because, NFL strength is different. I could see him being one of those guys like a Kalijah Kancey in our division. Yep. I don't know if y'all watch them Bucks games, but he be doing his thing against Bryce. Like he be getting off. So I think he could be one of those guys to a lesser extent. Another guy where you add him on day 3 somewhere, and it just helps your pass rush overall, keep him in rotation.
Yeah, I think that with these smaller guys, I think it definitely helps from a leverage standpoint too, since you're shorter. I mean, you got to get up under these guys. So I think that definitely helps. And from what I'm seeing from him in the short clips, he's got some crazy like pass rush moves in the arsenal. He had a nice little spin move right there. Swim was kind of crazy. So that I'm not, bro. Like I'm really liking this defensive tackle class and the edge class. Like they're both like deep, and like we have super neat. Like I could see us potentially double dipping on either DT or edge. Like, and it's gonna be necessary. So I like these picks that you sent in because Peoples was not on my radar at all like that. And then obviously I do some research and a lot of people are talking about him like that. So he's solid, man. He's definitely solid. I like him a lot. And again, I don't think the size thing. Everybody keeps talking about the nose tackles and all that. And let's quickly talk about it because how does he differ? And I know it's 2 different positions, but I'm talking about from like a impact to the Panthers standpoint. How does he differ from a guy like a Deion Walker, right? Because I know he also was out there. So, and that's what everybody's talking about. Oh, we need to know. So let's go get the biggest 6'7", 200 and 300 and some pounds. So talk to me about the difference between the two and the need in regards to the Panthers.
So for sure we need a nose. I've been preaching that for a year. It's time to, even if you don't want to cut Shy Tuttle, it's time to get him out of that spot. He's just too light in the hips. They move him around way too much for him to 2 gap. But somebody like Deion Walker, I didn't see it before we got to Senior Bowl. And then the first day, I'm like, all right, he's walking guys back. But the second day, you start to see he's 6'7". So he's going to lose the leverage battle every single time.
Yeah.
And if you got him at nose, you're asking him to 2 gap, get double teamed a lot. If he's already losing the leverage battle versus one guy and the second guy comes, it's potential to get washed down plenty. So he went home early too, and I didn't necessarily understand it because day 2 was not a good day. In my personal opinion, it wasn't a good day from what I've seen. So somebody like Peebles, on the other hand, I think you get a little bit more stoutness in the run game, like a little bit more. I think guys are used to, hey, let them get 2 yards and stop them there. No, we need to start getting guys in the backfield.
Yep.
This is a guy that's going to be able to do that, to be able to get off so fast, to have that leverage battle where you're able to split double teams and things like that. That's how you create those tackles for losses and those second, third, and longs. So now our pass rushers can finally peel their ears back and go get them, and that helps your pass rushers overall. We might not have had good pass rushers, but we also didn't have a good run defense. So it's hard to pass rush on 3rd and 4 when they can still run the ball, or 3rd and 3, they can still run the ball and they're running play action. It's hard.
Yeah. So Ladarian is asking about Jordan Phillips from Maryland. Any thoughts on Jordan Phillips? Are you aware of his game like that?
I only watched 1 game of tape, so I don't want to, hype him up or, be too low on him. I like what I see. I'll say that. This D-line class is deep, man. Like you talked about earlier when we were talking about Darius Alexander, like how is he still a day 2 guy if he's, what's the problem with him? And it's no problem with these guys, really. Right. It's just too many people. Like it's way too many people. You got Mason, Walter, Darius Alexander. We didn't even mention Derek Harmon for Oregon, Kenneth Grant from Michigan. It's just too many guys at the end of the day. So guys gonna get pushed down for real.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, man. Now I'm liking this class, this defensive tackle class and the edge class. I'm hoping that we can at least get somebody to be not necessarily. You don't got to be like an instant like 10 sack guy, but bro, we need some spark from somewhere. and it hasn't been around in a long time. You know, we took DJ Johnson a couple years ago and ain't really working out.
Don't remind me, bro, please.
I'm just then we took Amari Barno before that, and it's just like we need somebody. Yeah, we need somebody to really stick and play well. So this was dope, man. So anybody else that you did not like off the top of your dome that you want to kind of bring up before we let you get up out of here?
There's two guys I want to ask you about though.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
So we're all Aggies here.
Hey, Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
We're all Aggies here. So we have one. I'll dub it as an Aggie affiliate because he did play for A&T before he transferred to Virginia Tech. So Bashar, you got to interview him.
Yeah.
So thoughts? Do you see a possibility of us taking him day 3? It looks like the Panthers did talk to him, unlike them not talking to receivers.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
I like Bashar, man. I was there when he was still at A&T for his first 2 years. My first 2 years there, he was there. That's a good player. I mean, I think he provides what we needed for Jonathan Brooks. I love Chuba. Let me preface this first. Great player, probably a top 10 back this year. But the explosive plays aren't there for Chuba. That's just not his game. He's consistently getting hogged down, and the hands aren't necessarily there either. I think Bashar, he provides what you need. I mean, you're getting explosive plays. I've seen him make like 2 99-yard or 3 99-yard kick return touchdowns this year. Receiving grade on PFF was like a 92 or a 93. He had like 300, 400 yards every year. I could see him being a day 3 option to where you take him. He's your Band-Aid for missing Brooks this year, and he helps with that yak and that explosiveness like Brooks was supposed to do. And then if Brooks comes back healthy, you know, it's not going to be hurting you if he doesn't get on the field because he was a day 3 pick. So I like him a lot in day 3, and they met with him. So it seems like it's a possibility.
And the other kid is somebody that kind of shocked a lot of folks at the Senior Bowl, and that's Alabama A&M Carson Vincent. I know he went viral with what he was doing to P4 guys up front. I talked about it last week on PNP, so I wanted to get your perspective on him as well.
Yeah, man, I don't have no tape on him, sadly, because it's so hard to get tape from smaller school guys. But from what I've seen at the Senior Bowl, he was probably one of the best tackles there. It's interesting because Icky's coming up for his 5th year option. Yeah. You're going to have to extend him. Depending on the price, is it time to start looking now to move on? Especially, we got a lot of picks. If somebody like him is there on day 3, could you go ahead, hey, let's go ahead and take him, get him time to develop now, and then we just plug and play and replace. The Eagles do it all the time. They just do it on D-line. So it's interesting. I like him a lot, though. I can't wait to get his tape so I can actually deep dive into him.
And so for those who don't know, right now, I think he's the only HBCU player that's like in the top 300.
Yes.
So he might get drafted, but he would probably get drafted late if he gets drafted at all. Right now, I've talked to my boy Gerald, who scouts HBCU players, and he doesn't think any HBCU players are going to get drafted this year. So he said maybe one. So he could be that one.
He did a lot for himself at the Senior Bowl, so it can help for sure.
Yep. Okay.
Well, I think one last super chat. Ken Grant is very fast for his size. Any thoughts on Kenneth?
I think that's your nose tackle type of guy. Now I wouldn't take him with our first or maybe day 2, but that's your nose tackle type of guy where you want him in the middle. He's gonna be stout. He's not gonna get moved, and he still has a little bit of pass rushing upside. It's like I said, it's a lot of D tackles in this class, a lot of edge guys. This is the year where you want to get 2, maybe even 3 of those guys to just rebuild your whole unit and grow together. So good player though, really good player.
Yep. Real quick, Pancake says this has been a dope episode. Keep pounding, y'all, man. Appreciate that. I was gonna save it for the end, but y'all wonder why the chemistry so good. It's because we all Aggies, man. So Aggie pride,
Aggie pride. It's cut and dry, man.
I mean, this could be a natural addition, to the PNP family because we all Aggies. You know what I mean? I can't add no other non-Aggie to the daggone show. How we look?
Not right, man. It's not right.
It don't even feel right. So that's why the vibe is vibing because we Aggies. You know what I mean? Aggie pride.
Yes, sir.
Aggie pride, man. All day. Always Aggie pride. But all right, we got the real ball watcher here. Bro, first of all, thank you for coming on because I do like the fact that you were down there. You went to Mobile, and sometimes you got to talk to the boots on the ground. You can't get the secondary information and go off of what he say, she say. You got to go with who's there. And so that's why I appreciate you coming on the show. Let the people know where they can find your stuff. You got the hoodie on. Let the people know to go sub up. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Where
sir,
can they find you at?
First off, I want to thank y'all for having me on the show, man. Been a fan for a while, man. Probably about 4 years now I've been watching y'all. And I told you before, Rashad, y'all the reason I started doing the YouTube stuff, man. So I really appreciate what y'all doing, everything. But the Real Ball Watcher on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you'll be able to find me. I got plenty of evals up from last year. If you want to see, this guy really know what he's talking about. They up there, you feel me? Got about 12 to 14 evals, somewhere around there for this year. Got Senior Bowl content. Twitter, if you just type in the Real Ball Watcher, you'll be able to pull me up there, or X, whatever you call it. So definitely lock in with me, man. I love doing this stuff. I love just talking draft, talking ball, just looking at the tape, regardless of if I'm posting the video or not. So if you ever follow me on Twitter or something, want to know about a prospect, just hit me, man. I'm probably gonna respond. I ain't doing nothing for real.
Speaking of which, Grandau's got a question about Baron Sorrell.
Oh man, I got to talk to him too at the Senior Bowl. We did meet with him. He's a good player. He's interested in me because he's a guy that also the production necessarily wasn't there, like a 4 or 5 sack guy, but he looked good. He kind of reminds me of like your cleanup guy, your edge 2 that's going to be able to run the hoop, get good bend, but he's not your enforcer, like your number 1 guy. He'd be a good day 3 add to me. Like I said, get 2, 3 defensive line guys. He could be your third one that's, just add to the room to make it better.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the meetings. I meant to have a slide up, but I ain't had a chance to make it. I was trying to see all the positions that we met with, and kind of get a count. It's
D-line, like basically, and tight end. That's in running back.
Yeah,
that's it.
Basically. It was one. We did meet with Beck, so you got one wide receiver.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
I didn't.
So Dave.
Yeah.
One wide receiver in there. Is that somebody you take at 8?
Nah.
No. Okay, I know. I knew what the answer was.
He had a good Senior Bowl, but not that.
Yeah,
good.
not at 8.
No. I'm just busting chops, man.
Beck is
we're going defense in the first round, man. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be.
That's facts. Most likely. That's most likely what it's gonna be. But I don't know. Beck is interesting though. We can see maybe day 2.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll take this one last question. I may have already been covered, but what are your thoughts on Cam saying he wouldn't trade his MVP for a Super Bowl win?
I'm not mad at him one bit.
Me either.
So I'm like, I don't understand why you guys don't like. It's a team. We know that it's a team sport.
True.
They ain't too many NFL MVPs just walking around here,
bro. Cam was the reason, like a large part of the reason why that team was so good, bro. Like he earned that MVP.
Dog. Like when we don't
get to the Super Bowl without Cam balling the way he did.
Put it in perspective, right? Let's just put it in perspective. Sometimes you have teams that are like phenomenal. You got players across the board, and Cam. To be fair, there was a pretty damn good defense on the other side of the ball, right?
True.
But offensively,
it was him.
Nobody else. Him and Jonathan Stewart. It was him primarily, but
he was playing with no wide receivers, bro.
None.
It was Cam, bro.
None.
Like, so
y'all complaining about Leggett and Coker. He would have took Leggett and Coker right now. He had Ted Ginn Jr. and Philly Brown, who are NFL players. I don't want to be out here, but
shout out to Philly, man.
Shout out to Philly because I love Philly. But like,
he got to smoke with you anyway because you said he won the Hall of Famer.
No, I didn't say. I said it was gonna be hard for me to get. No. Don't be out here twisting my word. You out here twisting my words again. Get Philly back on the show. I hope, but all jokes aside, I hope Smitty gets in this year. Like he should have gotten in a few years ago. I hope he gets in this year, bro. Because he got to get in this year. But the thing is, man, I still think in my lifetime, greatest NFL MVP year I've ever seen. By far. Like I think if you folks normally just stare at the numbers, but if you understand, look at the perspective of what he had offensively,
he earned that shit.
Best MVP that I've ever seen in my lifetime, by far.
And it was clear by far, here, man. You look at the MVPs recently; it's always, this guy could get it. No.
Yeah,
it was Cam the whole way from like week 4 or 5 on. It was just Cam. It was the Cam show for the whole league.
He was playing out of his mind, bro. He definitely
People got to remember, his top wide receiver was out for the season. No matter how you feel about Kelvin Benjamin, that man had a 1,000-yard receiving
put some
season.
Respect on. There you go, Dave. Yeah, there you go. Say
I gave him his credit.
Say it.
That's all he getting. But the man was the one. He was the one. Because we remember Steve Smith was gone at this point.
Facts.
He was gone. So Kelvin was the guy, and he was out for the season. And he took Ted Ginn Jr. and Philly Brown and Jericho Cotchery.
Man, stop saying, come on, bro.
And they got into the Super Bowl.
Yo, Philly gonna smoke you up, Dave.
Yo, no, I love Philly, but the point. But I asked him about it when we interviewed him. I asked him about it. Look, man, I ain't afraid. Let me be clear.
We know that.
I'm not I'm not afraid. He had nothing. Like he had outside there because Ted Ginn, they both had speed. The problem was you know.
Hands.
So, but see, I ain't gonna say it. So,
I would say it. The hand. Yeah.
but the point is that he got that. He had that season, rushing the ball, throwing the ball, did everything, and he pretty much led into an NFL MVP. If we didn't run into that freaking defense of Denver, we would have a championship. That's why I was rooting for the Patriots that year. I know a guy on the coaching staff for that Broncos team, and every time I run into him, I tell him every single time I didn't want to play y'all. So I knew how good y'all defense was.
We might have beat them though. You seen who was the OC that year? I can't remember his name.
It was oh God.
Was it Turner? Was it Scott Turner? No, I think that's too early.
No, you talking about for the Panthers?
Yeah, for the Panthers.
It's Schuler.
Yeah. He talked about it he talked about it in an interview. They lost that game coaching, man. They knew what it was when it came to that pass rush, and they're calling 7-step drops, play actions.
I talked to my buddy on the Denver coaching staff. You know what he told me? He wasn't worried about the Panthers offense one bit. Because he knew he could get them up front. He knew he could get them in that line. And that's exactly what they did. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Because Mike Rimmers has ruined. Mahomes should be 4 for 4. Mahomes should be 4 for 4 right now. But Mike Rimmers out here ruining dreams and causing nightmares.
Facts, man. It was a sad day.
It was a sad day.
We'll be back, though. We'll get there.
We'll be back. We'll definitely get there back before Dallas.
Bryce got
We'll be back. We'll definitely be back. We'll be back.
One last one. Any thoughts on Kennard from South Carolina?
Kyle Kennard, he interesting, man. I haven't watched all of his tape. I watched, I think, 2-3 games. He was interesting. He showed a little bit at the Senior Bowl. It was interesting because guys was leaving and they weren't like dominating. And I didn't get it. He was another guy that left. And I'm like, I mean, you could have made some more money if you stayed. But, he was a pretty good player, though. We'll see. Day 3 guy for me right now, like 4th round, 3rd round guy, because it's like I said, it's just so many people. But it's a lot of good players, man. A good addition if we were to take him.
Bet. All right, let's get ready to shut this thing down, man. Again, this is a great episode, man. We got to get you on the show more. Appreciate you for jumping on, man. One more time, where can they find your stuff, man? We want to make sure that we get it out there. You got close about 600 some people watching, so got to get some eyes on the product. So where can they find you? One more time.
Yeah, man. Everywhere you go, TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube, type in the Real Ball Watcher. I'll pop up, man. I got enough subs now to where I'm not the 3rd channel. So you feel me? I'll pop up right at the top, man. Pause on the name. I know. I've been seeing the chats. It is crazy. But that's the point, man. It's the branding. It's the branding.
Yeah, the brand is important. Branding is definitely important.
Possible branding is successful branding, man.
Hello.
Facts. But yo, for real, I believe, I try to get a lot of the guys on the show, man. I had Dunk on the show. I've had, a lot of up and coming guys on the show, and I just try to lend that hand. You know what I mean? Because I know we ain't really had nobody to help us out. So I personally believe you next up and keep grinding. And continue to work hard, bro. And you gonna have some stay focused. Yeah, we talked earlier. You know what I mean? Stay focused.
Yeah, for sure.
And you'll be straight, man. And if you ever need me, Dave, us to come
let us know, man.
Or Bryce, just let us know. And it's good stuff, man. We'll be on.
Appreciate
it. All right, but we getting ready to shut this thing down. Like, subscribe, notification bell. We are close, really close to 25,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button, man. Help us get there. Remember all super chats for the month of February will be going to Jalen Coker's initiatives. Also, you can support your boy in the popcorn. I don't think nobody bought popcorn, but I appreciate it. Y'all helped me out on the last one, so it's cool. If you want to go back earlier in the show, rewind it, get that QR code, or wait on Dave to make his. Yeah, I mean, whatever y'all want to do.
I'm gonna make mine, and hopefully I'll win some money on underdog this weekend, man. I got 2 teams in the big game. Got a chance. One of them I can win 20K. The other one I can win 10.
If you win 20K, just let me hold the rack, man. That's it.
I might need it, man. They out here trying to shut down, man. Trying to send us home over here, man. Tell them we gotta go back to the office next week.
All right, let's shut this thing down. We out of here, man. Like, subscribe, notification bell. We out of here.
Peace.